It's happening all over the country, and it has happened here, in the Ithaca community. But it shouldn't. Everyone should experience college without the fear of being sexually assaulted or harassed. Any student at Ithaca College, regardless of their sex, race, gender, ethnicity, age, or any other aspect of their identity, has resources and options available to them if they experience sexual assault, sexual harassment, or discrimination based on gender or sexual identity. SHARE, Sexual Harassment, Assault, Response, Education, is Ithaca's program to prevent sexual misconduct and help students who may encounter sexual harassment, violence, or assault. You can always get help. But let's start with consent. It's important to understand the basic definition of consent as the foundation of sexual assault prevention.
New York State has created a definition of affirmative consent for all of its colleges and universities in the state. Affirmative consent is the knowing, voluntary, and mutual decision among all participants to engage in sexual activity. Consent can be given by words or actions, as long as those words or actions create clear permission regarding willingness to engage in sexual activity. Silence or lack of resistance in and of itself does not demonstrate consent. The definition of consent does not vary based upon a participant's sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression.
It is always your responsibility to make sure your partner is giving you affirmative consent for any and all sexual activity. Remember, consent can be withdrawn at any time, and consent for one act does not equal consent for another. If your partner consents to something one day, don't assume there will always be consent for the same thing all the time. Make sure you always have affirmative consent. Sometimes a student might be unsure of how to define a sexual experience they did not consent to. Consider a touch. How do you know if the touching is inappropriate? Is this sexual harassment?
If a person's words or actions are sexual in nature and create a hostile environment or make you feel unsafe, that may be considered sexual harassment. Sometimes alcohol might be involved in a situation. If someone is drinking alcohol or using drugs, their ability to make decisions or give consent may be impaired.
In New York State, people cannot give consent if they are under 17, physically helpless, or mentally incapable. Consent is key, and it is the only clear way to prevent sexual assault. If you're unsure if your words or actions are welcome, ask. If the other person doesn't enthusiastically agree or meets one of the conditions for being unable to legally give consent, stop immediately.
If you witness someone experiencing a situation that they did not consent to, or someone who is unable to consent and is at risk, they may need you to intervene and help them out of the situation. There are many ways to help someone who is feeling unsafe or uncomfortable. Sometimes people feel comfortable being direct and calling out the inappropriate behavior. Sometimes calling people out can also feel unsafe or scary. There are many ways to help without directly addressing the behavior.
If you see someone who's being pressured to go somewhere or do something, try to interrupt the conversation or distract the person who is the source of that pressure. If it's someone you don't know, see if you can find one of their friends or a group of people to help you intervene.
Sometimes the best action to take may not be clear. If in doubt, or if you feel unable to handle a situation safely, call for help from residential life, public safety, or local law enforcement.
If you or someone you know experiences sexual assault, harassment, or discrimination, tell someone. There are many resources on campus and in the community that can help.
Know your rights in New York State. If you wish to report confidentially, there are several people on campus you can talk to who can help. Health center staff, counseling center staff, and clergy. There are also confidential community resources, including the Advocacy Center. These are all resources that won't share your information unless you want them to.
To decide who can help you best, visit the SHARE website for more information on reporting options and contact information for the resources available to you.
If someone tells you that they experienced sexual assault or sexual harassment, an important thing to do is to help them by reminding them that they have options. You can reassure them by emphasizing that they have control over what happens next.
Students can contact their RAs, any faculty or staff member, state police, campus police, or their local law enforcement. These resources will connect your case to the Title IX coordinator, who will find the best options to get you the help and support you need.
Title IX is federal legislation that works to ensure that students can experience their education free from discrimination based on sex. That means things like sexual harassment, sexual assault, stalking, dating and intimate partner violence, and sex-based discrimination are prohibited on college campuses. If a student experiences any one of these things, the Title IX coordinator will work with them to help them understand their rights, resources, and reporting options. That might mean filing a formal complaint with the Office of Judicial Affairs and/or local law enforcement, or just documenting it with the Title IX coordinator. Regardless what a student decides to do, the Title IX coordinator will work with them to provide support and resources. The Title IX coordinator also works with the rest of campus to educate them on these topics, to increase sexual assault and sexual harassment prevention efforts.
There are many reasons why people do not report sexual misconduct if they experience it. At Ithaca College, we have policies prohibiting retaliation against someone who makes a report to Title IX. Additionally, we have amnesty policies, so students feel safer reporting sexual violence even if they were engaging in a behavior that would otherwise violate college policy, such as underage drinking or doing drugs when it occurred.
Issues of sexual assault and sexual harassment can also have serious consequences for the perpetrator. Students who commit sexual violence will be held accountable through the campus judicial process and may face criminal consequences as well.
To be identified as a perpetrator of sexual violence is a label that can follow you through your college experience and beyond.
It is everyone's responsibility to prevent sexual assault and harassment, and to make our Ithaca College campus a safe and inclusive community. Whether you need a counselor, a medical professional, a police officer, or a friend, Ithaca College has many resources you can depend on for help. You are not alone.